So what's going on when your hips are clicking and making noises? Now, you may have experienced this or felt this walking down the road and your hips are clicking, they're making some popping or some cracking sounds. Now, you may not be feeling discomfort, but actually may be a sign of an underlying problem. The muscles that are primarily responsible for flexing the hips when walking are known as the hip flexors. It's a pretty novel idea, I know. One of which is called the psoas major, and major just being it's a large muscle. So this muscle starts at your lower back and passes down through the pelvis and attaches to the thigh bone, which actually allows the ability to do that motion, flex your hips. Now, this muscle, can often get weak and tight, especially in those who are sedentary, not moving much, maybe sitting in an office chair most of the day, if not all day, with little to no exercise or movement or even just simple spinal breaks in their day. When this muscle does get tight, it can cause a range of problems. Most people experience a sore lower back, aching buttocks, and you guessed it, clicking or popping of the hips. The pelvic region is very bony, and that being when these hip flexors are tight, that tendon can actually snap over top of that bony protrusion. With enough time and aggravation, it's going to actually cause some inflammation. Okay, with that may lead to pain and discomfort. But it's that tendon snapping over top of it that's creating that audible clicking or popping sound in the area. Now, as I mentioned, it may cause some inflammation and aggravation of the tendons over time, which worsens the problem. It really does. It actually causes a condition that we commonly known as dancer's hip. Okay, and it has to do with the chronic overuse of the joints, and it's just not moving correctly. Not only happens in dancers, it also happens in runners too. It's very common to see. Now, an audible click may not necessarily always precede hip pain. Other sensations like popping or grinding, again, is common too. This is still something we want people to be aware of. And we encourage people to take action to reduce the tension and bring symmetry and balance to the hips before it becomes, again, that bigger problem. Because clicking and popping the hips, again, with enough time and aggravation to those tendons of the hip, it can become a bigger problem. Now, a lot of time, the main treatment for dancer's hip or clicking hips is actually recommended rest and recovery. But in my clinical experience, we actually find that those who take that approach actually are not addressing the root cause of their hip pain. And after even giving a few weeks off, when they get back to their favorite activity, again, dancing, walking, or even running, their hip pain returns just as fast. Chronic hip pain, when not taken care of, can result in arthritis of the hip or the lower back, which leads to even more challenges and struggles. As being active feels good, and soon after they stop because the discomfort sets in again almost immediately. It's not good. So we actually encourage people, be active, get out and about. And if you're experiencing hip popping or clicking and it's not getting better and you're concerned that it's going to create bigger issues in the future, absolutely reach out. We'd love to talk to you about your options, because we believe that hip pain is actually rooted in a biomechanical change of the hip and the lower back that has developed over time. We believe that addressing the deficiency and integrating patients into an active lifestyle is the better option than resting and waiting. So if you're experiencing hip pain or clicking, grinding, or popping, give my office a call. We will perform a thorough assessment to determine the root cause of your hip pain and get you back on track. My name is Dr. Greg Benkin. Hope to be talking to you very soon.